Good morning, everyone. I am Kathy Underwood, Director of Lifespan Religious Education. Whether the Unitarian Church of Evanston is your spiritual home or you are seeking comfort and connection in uncertain times, we are so grateful you are with us. We are an inclusive and welcoming community seeking truth and love and striving to nurture the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us matters and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. Together, let us remember our oneness, our kinship with one another, and may we hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention. There are many links to connection in the comments section, including credits for the readings, to virtual religious education, for donations, and to be added to our newsletter email list. A few announcements. The All-Church Zoom meeting will be on Wednesday at 5:30. We'll send a reminder email in the early afternoon on Wednesday with the link. We'll hold a virtual coffee and conversation after this service until about 1 p.m. on Zoom. You can find the link in the comments below or from the newsletter. There will be a realm training after coffee hour today at 1:15, and you can find that link below or in the newsletter this week. All voting members of the congregation should have received this morning an email from UCE with the materials for the annual meeting on May 16th. Please check your spam or junk folder if you don't see it in your inbox. And if you didn't get it, please email the office at admin@ucevanston.org. Join in on the fun May 22nd from 10 to 2 for the first ever UCE parking lot pop-up sale. This is an important fundraising event for UCE and is guaranteed to be fun for our congregants of all ages. Proceeds from the sale will benefit UCE in lieu of our regular annual rummage sale. Please sign up for a table today. Check the newsletter for details, or you may contact Sandra Robinson at srobinson@ucevanston.org with questions and for more information. And we have one more announcement from Reverend Eileen and our board president, Jessica Tamal-Presto.
Good morning. Jessica is here with me today because we'd like to call your attention to an article from Friday's newsletter. We don't want you to miss this one. It's about the Anti-Oppression Task Force.
The task force has been in process for almost a year, and it has taken us a while to discern what was needed. And so we have brought in consultants, the YWCA Equity Institute, to aid us in creating and training the task force.
The purpose of the task force is to look internally at UCE's policies and procedures and identify where white supremacy culture and systemic racism exist in our institution, as it does in all institutions.
This task force is not about calling people out or punishing anyone. It is about recognizing the ways we unconsciously perpetuate systems of oppression as a community. The goal is to interrupt these practices because we value the worth of every person. Our purpose is to be a more loving, open congregation.
The task force needs your voice. This work requires a variety of voices, experiences, and perspectives. We would like to encourage everyone who feels committed to creating the beloved community to consider joining this team.
So, if you are interested, please take a look at Friday's newsletter article, and please contact the Board of Trustees at bot@ucevanston.org. Thank you.
And now I invite you to get your chalices ready, set a place for yourself and your family as we join in beloved community.
The opening reading is by William Ellery Channing. The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own. Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own. Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth. Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs. Not to bind them by ineradicable prejudices to our particular sect or peculiar notions, but to prepare them for impartial, conscientious judging of whatever subjects may be offered to their decision. Not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought. Not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscience, the moral discernment. In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul to excite and cherish spiritual life. Welcome to worship.
We light this chalice in northern Illinois on the traditional homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations. Many other tribes, such as the Miami, Menominee, Ho-Chunk, Sac, and Fox, also call this area at home. We name these in honor and respect.
Please join in saying these words. We are never complete. We are never finished. We are always yet to be. May we always allow others to be, and help and enable each other to grow toward all that we are capable of becoming.
Please join me in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and love, and to help one another.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within.
And we will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will.
It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
The story I'm going to read is called Every Child a Song. Now, this book is based on an important document called the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And that document says that every child has a right to be safe and healthy. Every child has the right to learn, to think, to believe, and to express their ideas. So what does the Convention on the Rights of the Child have to do with UCE? Well, the document serves as an important reference for us as we think about the roles of children and youth at UCE in our future and as we plan for reopening. So the roles of children, not just as students in religious education classes, but as full participants, as decision makers, as leaders in worship and beyond. So you know that in some congregations, children are expected to simply sit quietly until the service is over. And children are not always seen as citizens with rights. Sometimes children are seen as little adults or as half people or incomplete people or unfinished people. But the Convention on the Rights of the Child remind us that even the very youngest child is already a whole person with inherent worth and dignity. So what would it look like to invite children to fully participate in worship, not as occasional guests or performers, but as citizens of our UCE community with both rights and responsibilities? Something to think about. So let's hear our story. Every Child a Song. Every Child a Song by Nicola Davies and illustrated by Mark Martin. When you were born, a song began. Sometimes it didn't sound much like a song. Sometimes no one could hear it. But it was there in every heartbeat, every breath, tiny, fragile, and unique, a melody the world had never heard before. It needed love to grow, to keep it sheltered and protected, nourished, cherished, celebrated. It needed naming and belonging, a home to call its own, arms to hold it safe in warmth and welcome. Then, with each new step and word, your song picked up its rhythm. It soared, explored, it learned the blue of sky, the green of leaves, the red of dawn and sunset. All around you, everywhere, other songs are singing. Some are loud and some are quiet. Some sing a single note and some a symphony. Whatever melody a song sings, each one is true and beautiful, unique and special as your own. No song should be worn away to silence. No song should be drowned out, nor stolen and made to sing the tune of darkness, hate, or war. Even among storm and change and danger, every song must be heard above the noise and chaos of the world. Because when every child is born, a song begins. a melody the world has never heard before, unique and tiny, fragile but never quite alone. For together we raise our voices for the right of every song to sing out loud, bold and unafraid. So, small new song, sing on lifelong, sing love, sing joy, sing freedom. The end.
Hey, Carla.
Hey, Karina.
Carla and I, along with Ann Gadzikowski, Ben Korfeld, Carolyn Lehman, Margaret Shackley, Cheryl Mounts, and Dan Solomon, are the Faith Formation Force, a group formed by Reverend Eileen and Kathy Underwood to look at the question Ann raised. What would it look like to invite children to fully participate in worship, not as occasional guests or performers, but as citizens of our UCE community with both rights and responsibilities?
Together, we are looking at what it means to be a truly multi-generational faith community that builds and supports relationships across the ages, a community that envelops our youngest members into the entire fabric of congregational life, and a community that welcomes and supports each other through all stages of life. We are moving past the idea that religious education is something that happens to children downstairs while adults worship upstairs, and reimagining what it might look like for all of us to participate in faith formation.
We all know that the pandemic has forced us to pause and to change in many ways. It has been hard on families and on those who live alone, on parents who have become teachers, on people who have lost work, and those who have had to rethink how their work is done, and on those who have lost loved ones. And COVID will continue to force changes as we begin to meet in person again.
We are excited to use these forced changes as an opportunity to re-envision what worship might look like and to try new models. Our plan is not to switch once to a different model, but to continue to explore new ways of being together. We fully acknowledge that change is difficult and that nothing works equally well for all involved, and that some of you might feel a bit uncomfortable at the idea of changing how church is done. We see you and we invite your participation, your feedback, and your ideas throughout the process. Our goal is to keep everyone involved as we build our faith through collective dialogue and play, expanding our circle and our hearts to include everyone while we nurture our spirits and our faith, and we work together for a world made whole.
Good morning, everyone. These are the joys and sorrows that have been submitted through the Google form on the homepage of our website or have been sent to me via email. You can let me or Reverend Susan know each week if there are any things that you want to share with this community. Janelle Britton shared that her husband, Michael, has been in the hospital this week once again with an infected gallbladder. He is now much better and will be going to rehab place very soon. They've been through a lot this year. And that was the only joy and sorrow that was submitted to me, but we know that there are many on our hearts and minds, well beyond this screen that you're viewing this service on, well beyond those that are entered into the chat. But let's take some time in this moment to review any additional joys and sorrows that are written into the chat this morning and hold them together in care and tenderness, even those that aren't said aloud. If you feel moved to say so at home, the names of those that you're thinking of who have died or who have experienced great loss or illness or any number of struggles. If you'd like to lift up your own name, that's okay too. Let them be carried on the winds and reach across the distances to one another. Together, we expand our celebrations and lessen the burden of our grief. I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, source of love, we offer thanks for the gift of life ongoing and unfolding. We express gratitude for the lessons of change, offering endless possibilities for renewal and growth. Thank you for all who have helped us grow throughout our lives. Those who have taught us how to love and how to learn. Those who have led by example and encouraged us with patience. Divine Teacher, grow within us curiosity and wonder so that we can be open to new discoveries about ourselves and each other. Guide us to ever-increasing compassion and forgiveness. Show us how to make space for one another, to return to one another, to be ever committed to the mutual well-being of all. Spirit of life, may we continue to embrace all that life reveals to us, knowing we are not alone as we learn and grow through life's challenges and triumphs. Keep us ever faithful to the practice of building beloved community. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.
UCE remains a vital part of the world and our community. And because we continue to need one another in the blessings of community, we take this time to invite you to give to our shared plate. Today's offering will be shared with the Unitarian Universalist Prison Ministry of Illinois. Here to talk about this important community partner is Jordan Strieber.
The UU Prison Ministry of Illinois engages individuals and congregations to support people harmed by the prison industrial complex and to work for change. The system targets Black and Brown communities and increases crime because it subjects people inside to violence, isolates them from the community, destroys families, and makes it nearly impossible for people to obtain employment and housing upon release. This past year has been difficult and painful. Crowded prisons became hotspots for COVID spread. People inside could not follow CDC recommendations, and in some places were not permitted to wear masks. Hundreds of people contracted COVID, and some died. They were completely cut off from their loved ones. Visits were shut down, mail was temporarily stopped, and people were locked in their cells and denied access to phones, email, and even showers. Many officers refused to wear masks, observe health protocols, or receive vaccinations. We advocated for release, especially of people with high-risk medical conditions and elderly people. We raised funds to help people inside buy soap, cleaning supplies, and food when prison meals were unreliable, and to stay connected with loved ones. We strengthened our Pen Pal program and our solidarity circles, now via Zoom, for people recently released. We worked on new initiatives for justice, including the historic Omnibus Police and Criminal Justice Reform Bill signed into law in February. We hope to restore our circles inside prisons in the coming months. No person can or should be reduced to the worst thing they have ever done, and people in prison should be allowed spiritual growth. UCE has been a valued partner since the beginning of our work, and we thank you all for your past and current generosity.
You may text to give, send in a check, or give from our website. If you send in a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering, pledge, capital campaign, or some other giving. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy. those who have decided to join the Unitarian Church of Evanston. This morning, we are welcoming 10 new members to our UCE community. You are invited to join us during coffee hour to meet them live on Zoom. We don't have a photo for them, but we want to welcome Angelina Burnett and Josh Burnett as new members of our UCE community. Welcome to Joan Soper. Joan writes, 20 years ago, I was blessed to be married to Tom, a close friend whom I met in college. Happily moving with him to his hometown, Evanston, I continued here to seek the spiritual home and community that I always had felt was missing from my otherwise amazingly fulfilling life. And now here I am, grateful finally to have found you, or perhaps it is you who have found me. Welcome to Betty Jacob. Born in Gary, Betty has lived in the Chicago metro area all her life, except for her college years. During her math studies at Purdue in the 50s, she met, then married an electrical engineer from Chicago. She worked with GTE engineers, designing and configuring telephone switching equipment, and taught data processing at Triton College. She is now a longtime retired data analyst, programmer, and instructor. Betty has been a UU member in Oak Park, Illinois since 1963, and later the Green Valley, Arizona, and Hinsdale, Illinois congregations. She decided to move to Evanston for easier access to her sons and their families and proximity to Chicago's theater, ballet, and art offerings, as well as her perennial passion, books. Welcome to George Chiropoulos. George grew up in Edgewater with 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He lived in Richton Park for 6 years and has been living in Rogers Park since 1999. He graduated from Southern Illinois University in 1971. His last job was equipment manager at New Trier High School in Northfield, and he is now retired. Welcome to Kristin Lems. Kristin's respect for others, passion for social change, and love of singing began in the Sunday school and youth group here at the Unitarian Church of Evanston. Now, 50 years later, she's back. Kristin wrote this original haiku for our ingathering today. Grew up in this church, went away but never left. Kindness brought me back. Welcome to Carolyn Chandler. Carolyn grew up attending an Episcopal church every Sunday, but this is the first time as an adult that she has become a member of a congregation. She lives near the Addison Blue Line stop with her husband and her cat, Oscar Wilde. Carolyn is a consultant, teacher, and author in the field of user experience design, which focuses on the creation of products and processes that are usable, useful, and delightful. She loves travel, games, weird fiction, and myths that cross cultures. Welcome to Gail Hartman. Gail writes, I attended Lincolnwood School and Haven Junior High School here in Evanston when my dad was teaching church administration at Garrett Theological School. Majoring in art and art education, I attended the University of Wisconsin in Madison, getting both my bachelor's and master's degrees there. My husband and I moved to Lexington, Kentucky, and raised our 3 daughters. I moved back here, working in the Presbyterian homes for 10 years before retiring. I thought I was allergic to churches, but was pleasantly surprised to find I have no adverse reactions to this one. In fact, I am delighted to join. Welcome to the Molesberger family. Connie, Mike, Valerie, Olivia, and Quinn. Connie is the Director of Annual Giving and Engagement at Francis W. Parker School. And Michael is an attorney at Schiff Hardin. Their family spends their time together playing games, going on adventures, and finding ways to learn about and help their communities. They are looking forward to being active members of UCE. The 10 of you have come from various paths to be a part of our community. You join us as meaning makers and truth seekers. Your presence among us makes us stronger, more vibrant, and beautiful. This is not the beginning of your belonging here, but it is an important moment on your journey, which we honor now. You have participated in membership classes, you've pledged a financial commitment to the congregation, and agreed to sign the membership book when we are able to meet in person again. Taking these practical steps has prepared you to be a part of this beloved community, and we hope that your sense of belonging and spiritual meaning continues to deepen among us. Along with the freedom of Unitarian Universalism and the rewards of membership, there are responsibilities. Most importantly, each of us is responsible for bringing the gift of ourselves to this community to the best of our abilities. We strive to give of our time, talent, and treasure, as well as to receive the gifts of others with open hearts and minds. We ask you to join us in the search for truth and meaning, in friendship, and through mutual challenge and support. Because our covenant is renewed and remade by your joining today, we collectively say the words of our new member covenant, which is drawn from our covenant of engagement. In a moment, you will see Reverend Eileen, myself, Marianne Griebler, and Marilyn Robluski from our new members team, and some of our new members reading these words. I invite our UCE members to read along when you see the words next to congregation. And I invite all of you here today to read along when you see the words next to all. Please join me in renewing our congregational covenant.
In service of our mission to nurture the human spirit for a world made whole, the members of the Unitarian Church of Evanston create a community of joy and hope, cultivating this ground and sowing seeds of a better world.
Through fuller and deeper relationships with ourselves and each other, together we strive to clarify, strengthen, and live our values, celebrate and honor life and its mysteries through words, music, art, laughter, and tears.
Learn and grow spiritually and religiously by nurturing and challenging ourselves and each other. Make the world a better place with the inspiration and support we find in each other and in our Unitarian Universalist values. Embody liberal religious tradition and carry it into the future for ourselves and for our children.
Toward these ends, we covenant to speak and listen with open hearts and minds.
Be kind and gracious, understanding our limits and those of others.
Share and encourage others to share abilities and responsibilities for the operation of the church and its work in the larger community.
Practice curiosity and willingness to learn. Practice resilience and perseverance wherever we engage.
Together we are the Unitarian Church of Evanston. We promise to always keep our hearts open to one another and to all those who are, even now, on their way.
Congratulations to our new members. We are enriched by your presence among us. We welcome you into membership in the Unitarian Church of Evanston. May you continue to grow in love and kinship among us. Blessed be.
This is I Am Learning by Amy Lloyd. I am learning to be brave. I am learning to speak my own language. I am learning what I want to become. I am learning what kind of life I want to live. I am learning to stand in my place without flinching. I am learning to go my own way. I am learning not to help people who don't want help. I am learning to embrace my powerful spirit. I am learning how to build my own bridges, complete with lions to guard against the foot traffic. I am learning I have value to bring to those waiting to hear my voice. I am learning the intensity of my own burning passions. I am learning to keep digging in the murkiest of my own brokenness. I am learning to accept my imperfections as beautiful. I am learning to think in terms of unlimited possibilities. I am learning I will not always be understood in the way I intended. I am learning to apologize and then move freely forward. I am learning and learning and learning every minute, every day. I am learning to be part of the healing of the world because I am willing to learn to be me.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling strong every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Last Sunday, we recognized our 8th and 12th grade youth in an outdoor bridging ceremony. While the weather was a bit chilly and blustery, our spirits were lifted as we witnessed this life transition. It is in the Unitarian Universalist tradition to recognize both our youth who are going into high school as well as those who are graduating from high school in a special ritual we call the bridging ceremony. We call this a bridging ceremony because the bridge invites a traveler to journey away from home. At the same time, the bridge is planted in the homeland as well as the new territory. So the connection is not severed, only stretched. We begin by acknowledging our 8th grade youth, Reed, Griffin, Mary, Chloe, and Enzo. We are blessed to have you in our congregation, and we look forward to walking with you on your journey into and through high school as you navigate this new time in your lives. We will support you and guide you and endeavor to help strengthen your roots in our faith to prepare you for the future. In recognition of this moment, I invite you to cross the bridge to the youth group, which you are being welcomed to with open arms and maybe an elbow bump. So, Griffin, Mary, Enzo, and Chloe. As you cross the bridge between childhood and youth, know that we cherish the energy you bring to every facet of Unitarian Universalism. And in the spirit of our multi-generational community, we will support and guide you on this journey.
Griffin, Reed, Mary, Enzo, and Chloe, you have grown and learned together, just as you have taught and deepened the collective wisdom of the congregation with your contributions. You are and always will be loved and held in care among this congregation. May your spirits be nourished as you carry your sense of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist into your life. It's kind of crunchy here. May you continue to strive to make the world whole.
I also have a little token gift for our 8th grade grads. It may seem a little strange. Let your light shine. It's a flashlight and a pen.
You have to take that little yellow thing off and then it lights up.
And now we get to recognize our high school senior graduates. Yay! Hope, Jonathan, Jen, and Gray. We gather to honor your transition from youth to young adulthood and to celebrate. I did something wrong. And to celebrate the contributions you have made to this lovely community. We have nurtured you and welcomed you as you've discovered Unitarian Universalism. May you carry the light of our religious faith within your heart now and always. May our religious heritage help you find love, hope, and faith. May you find the strength to create your own inner peace and help carry that peace out into the world. And the advisors, would you like to say a few words? It's up to you.
I just want to say it's been wonderful, as always, to have our youth with us. Wish you the very best. You've been a joy to be with, and we've loved watching you grow. You've had a really, really challenging year here, and you persevered. You just worked hard, and we were glad to be there to just help you in any way that we could. And like I said, we wish you all the very best and expect to hear all the different stories at the appropriate times in the future. So congratulations.
As you stand on the bridge between youth and adulthood, know that we cherish the energy you bring to every facet of Unitarian Universalism. In the spirit of our multi-generational community, we greet you with open arms as you cross this bridge. Great.
young adulthood, there is a copy of the book, and there's a free ice cream and how to contact me.
Logan?
You can be friends if you want. Also, for young adulthood, here's a little guy and a little ice cream. Hi, welcome to Young Adulthood. Here's a guide and some free ice cream and how to contact me if you want to be friends. Hi, welcome to Young Adulthood. Here's a guide and some free ice cream and how to contact me. We can be friends if you want to.
Oh, dear ones, Gray and Logan and Hope and Jonathan. I can't see them. You are all special, beautiful, lovely human beings. Smart and creative and caring and supportive of one another. It has been a joy, truly, to watch you grow up in this congregation. I'm going to get a little choked up because really and truly, it's been really a joy. You have made an impact. You have left an imprint on this congregation and on all of our hearts, and that will remain. And we hope that you carry a piece of this community and this congregation with you in anything that you do when you move forward, wherever you go in your life, to know that this congregation is with you, behind you, supporting you, loving you, and that and we hope that the lessons that you've learned here, that we've learned together, move with you through your life and help you and support you in all the challenges that you face. And this will always be a place for you. So know that no matter how far you go, there will always be a home here for you whenever you need it. We love you.
Very, very much.
Yeah, so we gave them a rose, and some may have thorns, some might not, because that's how life is. Sometimes you get a thorn and sometimes you don't. And you persevere with support and love. And so, that concludes our bridging ceremony for 2021. Amidst
Welcome aboard, team.
And now some words of wisdom from our graduates as they embark on this new journey. They were asked to reflect on how being part of the youth group and UCE has influenced them and how that might help as they navigate life post-high school, and how we can help them stay connected in the coming years, whether to UCE or our faith in general.
So I've changed a lot since middle school. Not just my name and pronouns, but I think I spent a lot of my life not sure who I was. And, I've had to do a lot of kind of reflection and introspection. And I think growing up in UCE and seeing queer relationships and gender nonconforming people living happy lives and being spiritually fulfilled really, made that realization that change in my life. It made it a lot easier to have that thing to look up to, because there are a lot of young queer people who have no opportunity to see older queer people or older queer people happy, and I think UCE has really just given me the tools to kind of think for myself and just figure out the way that my moral code works and what I think is right. And, I'm able to kind of do some pretty solid reflection about, things that I think are wrong and things that I think are right. And, I feel much more solid in those things than I think I would have if I'd grown up without some spiritual guidance. And I find myself to be a very spiritual person. I don't necessarily go to Sunday service, but I find spirituality and the love of the universe in everything, in art, and in all people. I think being raised in UCE and having that space to come to my own conclusions and figure out what it is that my soul needs to feel full is just a gift that I really appreciate. Next year, in the fall, I'm heading off to Illinois State University in Bloomington Normal. I'm going to be studying special education with a focus in behavior. So I'm hoping to get my special education teaching license and hopefully move back home and start teaching where I grew up. There's an established established Unitarian church in Normal that I'm excited to look into and see if I can, find community and family there. I know that no matter how far I go, I can always come home to UCE and find just really open arms for me here.
I feel that I've changed a lot since middle school because I've become a lot more open to change and even excited by it. I've also noticed my boost in confidence. I started out high school pretty anxious about, I was trying to control the unknown. Of course, COVID taught me to take a step back, and now I'm actually pretty energized by the possibilities of the future and the new experiences I'll have. In terms of what impact UCE has had on me, I'd definitely say that cons, or the youth conferences, have made the biggest impact on me throughout my high school years, especially because I moved from North Shore Unitarian Church to UCE, and so cons have been kind of my opportunity to reconnect with the youth group I had in Deerfield, and it's just been really a special time for me. I just love how even the people that I didn't know, because I knew Deerfield, but the Deerfield kids, but even the people I didn't know right away, I felt like it was a safe space and that we all belonged there. And that was just such a beautiful thing that I really appreciated about Con. And what ways do I envision helping make the world whole in the next few years? Well, I'll be living in a learning community at St. Louis University called Micah, and it's based on the pursuit of truth for the service of humanity. So I'm going to be taking classes, learning about topics such as urban poverty and social justice, and I look forward to deepening my understanding of these issues through community service as well as guided reflections on my experiences and faith in action. So I'm really excited that I found such a neat learning community and I get to be part of it. And what am I looking forward to in this next stage of life? I'm looking forward to studying what I'm interested in, because so many of my high school years I've had to take classes that haven't been super interesting to me, but now finally I can study what I'm passionate about and build friendships with people that share my same values. Yeah, I'm just excited to take the next step in my life, and I'm looking forward to all the new experiences I'll have. And UCE can help and support me by continuing to offer ways to connect with maybe the other youth group kids, to the other seniors, and see where they end up. That would be fun to reconnect somehow. And yeah, almost something like an adult con, because cons were such a big part of my high school years. I'd love to carry that on to adulthood. Thank you, UC.
Hi. So I think a lot has changed since I was in middle school and I did my credo statement and all of that. And I think that I've grown a lot as a person, and I've gained leadership experience. I've learned a lot of stuff about how to become closer with people and make connections. And I think that part of that has come from the UCE community, and I've learned how to be accepting and understanding and live up to the UCE values. And I really enjoyed being a part of youth group. It's given me a way to connect and reflect. And it's been nice to just be able to talk to people about whatever is going on in my life. And I went to YMWLS. And that was really nice. It was a really great experience. I met a lot of great people, and that's something I'm just really going to remember, is going to that week-long leadership training. And we were really close during that week. And it was a really special experience. And I was only able to go to one con over my whole time at UCE, but it was really special to go to that one con. And I wish I could have gone to more, but COVID kind of made that hard. So in the future, how am I going to make the world whole? I think that's kind of a big task, to make the world whole. But I think it really comes down to the small things that you do. Hopefully in college I can work with my classmates to promote peace and connections and understanding and acceptance and valuing others, and helping people out if they need support, if they need someone to talk to. Just little things like that that make people feel better. I don't know. So what I'm looking forward to in the next stage of my life, college. So I'm looking forward to having more free time, more freedom, independence, meeting new people, learning new things. I mean, it's going to be very different from my life right now. I'm going to be in a totally new environment. The expectations for me are going to be a lot higher. But I think I'll have a lot more opportunities just because of the college environment. And I think there will be a lot more things for me to get involved in. So how can UCE help and support me, I think it really comes down to just staying in contact and staying connected and following up, and not kind of going separate ways, but staying in communications, even like small little chats, meetings, things like that, getting updates about what's going on at the church. I think that would be really helpful in terms of support from UCE. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.
As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying these words. Though the flame is extinguished, we carry with us the warmth of community, the light of truth, and the fire of commitment, until we are together again.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Beloveds, go out into this day, into this week, knowing that you are cherished citizens of the world, each and every one of you. Treasure the wisdom that lies within you like a seed ready to burst open. Go, eager to share your tender gifts with the future. Go and discover new insights. Go, making peace.